Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter. I'm welcoming you to yet another Cutter Top 10 NBA video. And today we're going to be looking at the top 10 NBA players to wear this specific number 7. I have the Chevron jersey of one Kyle Lowry. I know he's not with the Raptors anymore, but he's still a legendary Raptor, unlike Kawhi Leonard, who was basically one and done in our fair town. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be looking at the top 10 NBA players that were number 7 because 7 is a lucky number to me and got to do something like that. One honorable mention was Andrea Bargnani because he wore number 7 with the Toronto Raptors, but obviously he was the number 1 draft pick that really didn't pan out and made the Raptors live to regret it. Anyway, here we go. Number 10 is Kelly Tripucka, known for being a Piston and Jazz icon. Kelly Tripucka was a legendary player for Notre Dame in 1981, and he was going to be the hero of the Elite Eight game against BYU before Danny Ainge did the end-to-end sweep for the winning bucket. But Tripucka was drafted by Detroit. He played with Utah as well. He was a good player, a good power forward, and, he had numbers that worked out. Number 9 is Ben Gordon. Ben Gordon is an icon for the Bulls and the Pistons. Chicago and Detroit, what do you expect? But yeah, Ben Gordon was coming from the University of Connecticut. He was a good sharpshooter for both teams. And, he worked out quite well for both Detroit and Chicago. I mean, he made some big shots when he had to. Number 8 is Kevin Johnson, Phoenix. KJ was a part of Phoenix's running offense for much of the 80s and 90s. And he was recognizable. I mean, the Suns did retire as number 7 at one point. Unfortunately, Kevin Johnson became mayor of Sacramento. Of course, that's a rival NBA town. But worst of all, KJ was in trouble for some kind of sexual activity or whatever it was. They said it was domestic violence. I mean, KJ was going to get his own ESPN 30 for 30 about his journey to be mayor, but that was cut short because of all the allegations. So KJ did not get the whole thing. So that was kind of bad. He was a good floor runner for Phoenix, especially with Charles Barkley coming to town. Number 7 is Lamar Odom for both the Clippers, the Clippers, the Heat, and the Lakers. Lamar Odom was a pretty good player. With the Clippers drafted him out of the University of Rhode Island. Way off on the road to Rhode Island. Anyway, Lamar was kind of known for his stuff off the court with one of the Kardashians and all that, and cheating and being a prick and all that. He was well with the Lakers and all that too, and the Heat, but Lamar's mental health kind of ruined him, and he almost. But Lamar got better at all that. So, money and fame doesn't help anything, and Lamar Odom felt terrible about things. I think he fathered a lot of children for a little bit, I think. But yeah, Lamar Odom was good. Excuse me. Number 6 is Jermaine O'Neal, Indiana. Yeah, I know he played for the Raptors too. I don't know if he wore number 7 with the Raptors. No, I don't think so. But yeah, Jermaine O'Neal made history as the youngest player in NBA history, even younger than Kobe when Jermaine stepped in after high school to play for the Portland Trailblazers. I think it was 1996. Of course, nowadays, after 2005, you had to play at least 1 year of college or European ball, the equivalency. But the fact is that Jermaine O'Neal became the youngest player for Portland, and then he got traded to the Pacers and became a pretty good player for the Pacers. Of course, he was one of the main contributors to the whole Malice at the Palace. I think he got the second highest suspension. I mean, I know Artest got suspended for the rest of the year. I think O'Neal got 25 games, didn't he? But yeah, Jermaine O'Neal, his name basically dragged in the mud thanks to the Malice at the Palace. So that was just terrible. Number 5 is Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. Well, the only current legendary number 7 on this list. He will have time to jump up on this list. Personally, I think he'll probably jump to number 4. I mean, I can't see him pass in the top 3. But yeah, Jaylen Brown, good scoring forward for the Boston Celtics. Unfortunately, though, he didn't really play this year because of the torn ACL he suffered in the 2025 playoffs. Akin to Tyler Reese Halliburton for Indiana, with that ACL in Game 7 of the finals against Oklahoma City. But yeah, Jaylen Brown's a pretty good shooter and all that. He's done well and all that. So, you know, great Celtic. Unfortunately, though, Boston blew a 3-1 series lead of the Sixers of all teams. I don't know why. Number 4 is Toni Kukoc, one of the best European players around. Yeah, he wore number 7. He was a strong style player, from Croatia. Well, former Yugoslavia, now what was now Croatia. He was pretty good for them, and the Bulls took a chance on an international superstar. So that's what you do. Anyhow, Kukoc was pretty good. He had the Euro step and he hit the winning shot against the Knicks in Game 4 in 1994 in the second round. Because I know Scottie Pippen pouted that the shot wasn't going to him, so he sat on the bench. And Kukoc took the shot. Kukoc could handle his own, and he was a good forward spot, mostly due to the fact that, MJ had retired the first time after winning 3 titles. Kukoc stepped up, trying to take Pippen's spot as star player and all that. Kukoc played for, I think, the Sixers and the Bucks, among other teams. Anyway, number 3 is Carmelo Anthony for the Knicks. Yeah, he's originally a number 15 for the Denver Nuggets in that famous 2003 draft that saw LeBron go first overall to Cleveland. Darko freaking Milicic going second overall to the Pistons, but the joke was on us. Milicic actually won an NBA ring in 2004. And then Melo went third to the Nuggets out of Syracuse. D Wade went from Marquette to Miami, and Chris Bosh went from Georgia Tech to Toronto. But yeah, Melo was the big boy. He got a couple of NBA live covers and all that because he knew how to play. And he was good for Denver, number 15. But Denver traded him to New York in a massive blockbuster that saw Marcus Camby head to New York. I think Melo was involved in a melee while being a Nugget against the Knicks in New York. But anyway, yeah, Melo playing for New York, wearing number 7, becoming a legendary Knick in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and all that. I still say he's a Denver Nugget icon, but then that might change. Anyway, Carmelo Anthony was just pretty good and all that. I think he's in the Hall of Fame, if I'm correct. Number 2 is the guy I'm wearing. Good old Kyle Lowry, number 7 in your programs. I know I should put Kyle Lowry number 3 technically, but it's my list. But I think that Kyle Lowry was pretty impressive and the key number 1 Raptor of all time. Yes, Vince Carter is a legend and does have his number 15 retired and all that because, he was good for the Raptors. And then by 2004, he lost his motivation, got traded to the Nets, got better and pissing us off. But yeah, Kyle Lowry, he actually went through some things. I think he was a Memphis Grizzly at one time? And then he went to the Houston Rockets, and then Houston traded him to Toronto for, I can't remember the whole Kyle Lowry trade. All that. I have to go through my notes. Because I know Kyle Lowry, Kyle Lowry was a Memphis Grizzly. Yeah, he was a Memphis Grizzly from 06 to 09. And then got traded to Houston in a 3-team deal with Orlando. Added into Lowry, then headed to Toronto for Gary Forbes and a first-round pick. So the Raptors decided to trade away a first-round pick for Kyle Lowry. And unlike most Raptor deals, that deal actually worked out for us. It was a massive trade for the Raptors and all that. And, he stayed for 9 years. He was pretty good. He went to Miami, and now he's with the Sixers. But, never mind that. Kyle Lowry deserves to get feted for his smarts. He should have his number 7 retired by the Raptors. But, yeah, Kyle Lowry was a great player, and you can bank on it. And finally, number 1 is Pistol Pete Maravich. Yeah, he wore 44 for a while with the Hawks, but he wore number 7 with the Jazz franchise and all that. But he's still Utah royalty. Pistol Pete was an LSU college shooting star, getting a lot of points per game, even more so than Abdul-Jabbar. But yeah, Pete Maravich ended up being with the Hawks organization. He was good with number 44 with those vertical stripes and all that. But he needed to change, so they traded him to the Jazz, which was in New Orleans at the time. Well, of course, Jazz being New Orleans, what do you expect? And Pistol Pete did Well, he even accompanied the team with the move to Utah, and Jazz in Utah. That's weird, but nevertheless, Pete Maravich was an icon and all that. He was great. He could shoot. He could score. He was an NBA threat. He is in the Hall of Fame and all that. And then, of course, Maravich would die playing pickup ball at age 40, which was pathetic because I'm 41 myself. And, I've outlived Pete Maravich. And that's kind of sad, don't you think? I really think that was sad. I mean, I know things could get better, but anyway, yeah, Pistol Pete Maravich is definitely the best number 7 in history. Anyway, I'm going to do